Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Eric Bird, here at StopStrugglingNow.com. And today, welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And who will save you financially? You. Wealth grows, ladies and gentlemen. Liabilities go down. Are you going to get on the wealth train? Well, the choo-choo train is getting lit up with fuel right now. So, are you going to continue to wait, or are you going to be on the train with the rest of us buying assets that pay you? Stop struggling now gear. Check. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. Now, let's get to it. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. And as you know, if you were here on Friday night, you know I was under the weather. We couldn't do a live stream long. Well, nothing has changed, except I do feel a little bit better, but I don't know if my voice will be able to carry this through past over an hour, hour and a half. All right, just letting you guys know. So stay tuned. You can ask questions down here in the chat room. And please share the videos, because you never know who needs some information, who's looking for information. Let's see who's in the house tonight. Make sure you let me know if you received a notification from YouTube and saw the trailer. That would be greatly appreciated. Now, Laverne Penix, a superstar in his own right, an investor, is here. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream with the icon next to his name. And I appreciate the icon. That means he's a member of the channel. And he says his tagline, hello, SSN Nation. I hope everyone is doing well. I received a notification and trailer. All right, that's one person this evening. Now, Mr. Laverne Penix is also known in this YouTube street as Mr. Cool, ladies and gentlemen. So now you know how this starts off. And then we have the soon-to-be retiree Victor Marrero in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream with that icon next to his name. Once again, I get excited. Why? Because members of the channel, they have financially helped out. Not only did they hit that like button, not only did they subscribe, but they are members of the channel to give a little financial support, which is greatly appreciated. Because if you guys don't know, just because you have X amount of subscribers, that does not turn into X amount of dollars. So I do live streams Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, plus a few videos. And that does take a little bit of time, but time is sometimes money. Why didn't we care about money? Well, we don't sell courses here. This is the no guru zone. So we make money in other varieties. And so therefore, we don't need to sell you a course and turn that into informational money. We want you to spend your money on assets that pay you. Now, opportunities are coming along, but Victor Marrero, soon to be retiree, with the icon next to his name, his tagline, how could I forget? Hello, all. Let's do this. And that's what we do here, ladies and gentlemen. So once again, Eric, glad to hear and see you. Sound much better than Friday. Glad you're over that. Yes, but I still have a little problem. It's probably going to take me another 2 days. I still have a little something. But, you know, the nurse is here, took care of me. It's all good. All right. Thank you so much, Victor Marrero. I appreciate that. Curtis Davis in the house. Mr. Financial is here with the icon next to his name. And he says he saw the trailer and received the notification. That is 2 people tonight. But you know what's missing. Hello, SSN family. ABMM. See, I'm not over it yet. So this might be a short one. So what do? Commercial. That's what we got to do.
Right there.
I don't know. He's got a good shot.
Got a lot of competition.
The guy can play, but we all showed up to dethrone him this year. But I brought him something, courtesy of Poker 101A. This is his jersey, and then we're gonna auction one off.
Oh,
So
sweet.
he's got another one.
Great.
All right.
Very
We got
nice.
some heavyweights here.
It's all right. You
Some
can hold your
Marcel
own.
Lewis, David Devilfish Juliet. You know, I'm here. Phil Ivey might even be here. I mean, we have heavyweights here tonight. So us little guys, we're gonna have to do something serious.
Here he is, the man of the hour, Don Cheadle, last year's tournament winner, arriving to defend his title.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it appears I won't be able to do much talking once again. So it may be a long night. I mean, a short night. But I appreciate you being here. I appreciate your support. Make sure you smash the like button. I don't even know if we'll be able to get too much into this. But there's something that happened last week. And this is because people consider homes as assets. And Curtis Davis, Mr. Financial, always be making money. Assets pay us. So what's happening is the fact that businesses are buying homes, corporations that you give your 401 money to. They're treating them now as a real asset because from a business standpoint, you buy it, it's a write-off. It's that simple. Depreciate as well. So you have many more benefits from a business perspective. Also got the YouTube notification. Thank you. That's 4 people. OTA booking numbers are crazy. I wonder how we can get on that platform so we can boost our DR rentals. I have homework. Oh, you like that travel agency online booking platform? Victor Morel? Let's see. Okay, actually, there's a way you can do it. I don't know if I should say this though, but okay, so you can pseudo, either you can get with IATA, ARC. You can get with these platforms that the travel agencies are with those platforms. So what you want to do is you want to tie in with those guys. Just tie in with the main online travel agency platform. And you can start your own Birds travel service, Marrero travel service. Get an IATA number underneath another travel agency. And bingo. All right. I helped. I made it short and sweet. All right. Hopefully people can understand what I'm saying. That's about how you do it. Just saying. I'm just saying. I'm sure there's a subscription or something like that we have to join. Exactly, Victor Morel. But here's the thing. Even though it's ever so slight, you wouldn't mind getting extra 5 to 10% on your own booking, would you? Just saying. I mean, that's pretty much how it works. Jawway J, welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream with the icon next to his name. Another investor's in the house. He says, Hello, SSN Nation. Hope everyone is doing well. Received notifications, saw the trailer, and smashed that like button. Thank you so much for that, Yahweh J. In fact, Victor Morel has been bringing up some very interesting topics the last few days. And he's realizing the bookings he's getting from Margaritaville's different. Remember, Margaritaville is a hotel, timeshare, travel club, 5-star. So they book things a little bit differently. Check this out, ladies and gentlemen. So I just put in, there you go. Let's see. Just Google. See, this is it. Booking.com. Okay. Do these look familiar? Some of you know all these names. Maybe not this one. Maybe not that one. You guys know all these names, right? So that's our OTAs. Give you some more. You guys know these names. So you got to be on all their platforms. You can do them separately if you want. Well, not all of them, but you can get on booking.com. Clearly, everybody can get on Airbnb. You might be able to get on Agoda, VRBO, Travelocity, Hopper, Trivago. You can get on all these. But it's easier if you have an online travel agency yourself or you're running through somebody. Like Victor Morel said, you can be a travel consultant. It's not that hard because these guys don't get paid that much. So a travel agency, let me show you. So a travel agency needs consultants or people to get additional bookings. So here's the dirty little secret. So if I sell X amount of dollars, I start getting from my travel agency, I start getting discounts. So what'll end up happening is, let's just say we get, it's rare, but let's say we get 10%. But we just did $500,000. They have a promotion this month where they give you an extra 5%. So it helps if you have additional travel agents or travel consultants under you that's booking more things. So see here, that's a travel consultant job. So this is how the travel industry works. They give you discounts. So this is how if you're a travel agent, you can get free cruises. Because if you book like 10 cabins on one thing, they'll say, okay, we'll give you the one free, you can go kind of thing. So there's all kind of things you can do. But like, look, crystal and clear travel consultant provides. So see, it makes sense to have a travel consultant, right? If you're in the business is hard. Because people can go online now. Just keep that in mind if you want to do it. But it's doable. It's doable. So I just want to let you guys know it's not that hard. Also, Curtis Davis, Mr. Financial, has his own YouTube channel here called Chili Davis. So you got to show some love. Please go over there, subscribe to his channel, click the all notification bells. and watch a few of his videos. They're short, they're sweet. He gets to the point. Show some love, please. Go there. Chili Davis with 2 L's. Also got the YouTube notification. That's 5 people. Oh, the OTA booking numbers that we already talked about. Yes. And the subscription. Yes. Paul Castillo, another investor's in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream with the icon. And he says, hello. I hope everyone is doing well. Let's do this. Exactly. And again, he has the icon and other investors here, ladies and gentlemen. This is why we're doing the May 9th through the 19th. We have music. We have real estate investing. Sponsored by, it's going to be SSN Lifestyle. Tickets, unfortunately, I thought they were coming out today, but we can't do it. There's been a little change up by one of the potential vendors that we're going to have. So I won't know till Wednesday. But it does not matter because I actually know where the venues are going to be, what we're going to be doing, regardless. But it makes probably the musicians are a little nervous. The beauty is at OTAs is that when a long booking cancel, it gets filled up quickly. Yep. These bookings fill up any gaps you may have during the month. That's 100% booking for me. Exactly right. Exactly right. All right, ladies and gentlemen. You're probably going to see me doing some things tonight that I normally don't do, like have a swig of water. I'm probably going to have to get some hot water here, so I'm going to have to throw down another commercial. But nonetheless, luckily, we have loved ones and helpers, right? So we will see how this goes. How long I can keep this up, because I have to talk to people this week, and unfortunately it's been like 3 days that I haven't been able to talk to people, so it's very disturbing. I feel fine, but this situation is not going away, but it's okay. The show still goes on. Okay. Now, we went to the travel agencies, travel consultants, Zip Recruiter, and all that. It's not a problem to get in the travel business. They need people to help them sell. That's how they get it. There's other things, too, I could tell you guys about. Try Travel Weekly. I think that'll help you out. There's deals all the time. You'll run into brokers, but it always helps if you have a business. And then it always helps if you have a great travel agency that's going to give you the take off some of their profit to help you. All right. So here's where I wanted to go before we got into the travel. Brian P. He's been sending me some great articles and updates that I know about all this stuff, but I don't have time to produce videos on it at the moment. And here's one that I find very interesting that CNBC uses, because whose will save you financially is only you right now, but you may not realize it. Because I can tell you right now, if you work for a job, I don't think you're thinking in your head, I could be terminated tomorrow or the next day. You might be feeling secure. If you have your own business, you're not thinking my business may be out of business a year from now, or some new competition might take me out of business a year from now. But under usual circumstances, unless you started planning, then and you live like 65% of the population in America who lives paycheck to paycheck, then that means one paycheck or two paychecks or three paychecks you don't receive, that means dire consequences. So it works against you both ways if you don't have something that can make your money grow in your toolkit, that financial freedom toolkit. That's the only way you're going to get the papers, is to buy the assets that we've been talking about. And here's something that's very interesting. Home buyers and sellers to be spared. Now, we live in a capitalist society, and I find this very interesting, this wording, because the 418 million settlement, this is one of the things I used to, we even had a discussion here several times when I would tell people, don't overbid. You don't know who you're bidding against. A lot of people found out that the price of the home was going up 20, 30, 40, 50, $100,000 more. And then later on, you find out it was a corporation buying it, who was at interest rates at interest only at 2% for 15 years or something. So it made sense for them to overpay. And sure, some people overpaid. But now this wording, sellers to be spared automatic broker commissions under 14 million settlement, I don't see it that way. You know why? I'm going to put this article down below, but the listing agent receiving a commission by himself, and now it turned the buyer's agent into basically an additional fee, in my opinion. That's what it appears to me. So a listing agent can say, I'm going to give you 2.5%. That's great. But now if you go out and find your own realtor that you feel all nice about, all of a sudden now that realtor has to make money. So where are they going to get their money from? Well, it's just like, hey, 3%. We still might find ourselves at 3%, or heaven forbid, it could be higher. It's going to be very interesting how this works, because I personally would think, I don't even want to see a buying agent. I'm just going to go directly to the listing agent. Save yourself extra pennies. The listing agent listed it, but of course, how the MLS and everything works is more people could actually show it. But now the person that you're going to buy from, or the realtor you're going to use, might be saying, I want 5%. Who knows? All I know is this is going to be kind of crazy when this all comes out. What do you guys think about this? Let me know. But the 6% stuff, it's over. It's over. But I just don't see how this changes the 6%. Unless somebody does the unthinkable. Some hotshot shows up and just says, listing agent, 2.5%. Let's use an example. Buying agent, 2.5%. They just do both sides of it. And so then that's going to bring the price down theoretically. And I could see somebody else coming along going 1%, who's an online realtor. I could easily see that, because when you start selling homes for $500,000, $800,000, $1 million, and then all of a sudden somebody says, well, I'll take 1%. And here's your buyer agent who'll take 1%, 2%. Sure. Some people might say, okay, $1 million home, 10% is 100,000, 2%, 20,000. You do 2 or 3 or 5 of those in 30 to 60 days, 20,000, it starts being the numbers. So there's going to be people that are going to do that, I think. But I also think it's going to go the other way. So it's going to be very interesting how this works. That's just for starters. Just for starters. Yeah, got the wife. The nurse is in the house. She's here. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Got to have a partner that takes care of you under all circumstance, even during live streams. That's how it goes. All right. I want to get into something else tonight as well that Brian P. sent me. I hope I can find it because it was very interesting as well. Because people are out here blindly not believing what people are telling them. I went through this myself without social media. And I just can't even fathom why with social media, people still are in denial that monies are stolen, taken. I mean, I've told my story several times. The government, the federal government, the state of California, banks, all the big ones, except for Chase, but Wells Fargo, Bank of America, U.S. Bank. I mean, all banks are probably dirty, but those banks literally stole money out of my account and people that I know, but we're not associated in banking at all. And I would tell them, yeah, man, U.S. Bank just stole my money. Sends me a late notice talking about I don't have money in the bank. And I'm like, where'd my money go? I was like, what do you mean late fee or overdraft fee or something? I was like, the money's just been sitting in there. What are you talking? So just that. And then people would say, oh, that happened to me. Or not that exactly, but they would say, man, my money was taken and they said I did whatever. And I'm like, no social media at the time. And there wasn't too many people that would believe you. They always believed the banks were right. So that's why this is scary. So once I get to this, I want to break out this article because once again, we have shenanigans going on. And you guys are, I hope you're not sleeping. Here in the SSN Nation, you guys, you should know better than to need to protect yourself against yeah. Okay, here, this is one of the articles who I'm going to talk about. There's certain things you can't control. So the federal tax system you can control, but you have to have a business to do that. Or a trust would help as well. Now, but the problem is for the American dream, what do they tell you? Buy a house, right? So the problem with that is you're subject to unknowns. Whether you live in a Melrose, if you're not familiar with Melrose, that's what they call out here in Cali. Let's say we're building a new subdivision or a nice couple subdivisions all in this new area. So they'll say, hey, everybody's got to pay $5,000 a year for 20 years for the new high school that we're going to build. And people sign off. And the next thing you know, they're paying this $5,000 to $10,000 a year. And then the HOA, which originally starts at $100, all of a sudden says, well, we got expenses that went up, and we got to maintain the insurances, and we got to maintain the maintenance and upkeep, and it's 3 times. So now it's $350 or $400 a month. And then Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. I'm a little under the weather still, apparently. Thought I was going to be fine. But let's go check this out. Because here's the next drop. After they get you with that, then they say, hey, your house went up. Geez, 400,000 or 500,000. So your appraisal value went up another 100,000, 200,000. And then the next thing you know, your property taxes are an extra few $1,000s per month. I mean, not per month, but per year. And this just keeps going. You're not going to get saved unless you make additional revenues. It's not possible. So once you understand all that, then you understand this article that I'm about to bring up now. All right, thank you. You're about to see this now. Look at this. This right here. Lady thought she bought her. I told you guys about, I've had videos about the American nightmare. This is what it looks like. You don't want to be on the financial freedom train? Then this is what it looks like, because there's no way that she can sit up here and get over this. Single mom from New Orleans says she was forced to sell her dream home over the extreme price of insurance. This is something you can't control. This is the next shoe that is dropping as we speak. So who's going to be able to handle this? You know who? The guys that have the business. The corporations, the LLCs, the EIN numbers, those guys. Because insurance is different for business versus personal. That's for one. And she's not going to get a raise to offset this. This is crazy. Now, this is in Louisiana. And just like Florida, Louisiana, California, all these places that have these natural disasters, whether it's wildfires, whether it's hurricanes, whether it's flooding, all the insurance companies are just weeding out the people that are high risk. So what does that mean? That means they just raise everybody's insurance rate. I'm looking to see what hers was. Temple says for 4 mammoth hurricanes over a 12-month period triggered an unprecedented explosion of 800,000 property insurance claims. Jeez. So the insurance companies go out of business. You've been paying insurance for potentially 5 to 10 years, and they just say, see you later. That is scary, and that's what's happened in a lot of states and cities in the United States, and there is no safety net. All right? So here goes what happens at bank rate, but this isn't even a thing. Insurance policy with 250,000 dwelling coverage is $32.47 annually. That's $300 a month, which is 85% higher than the national average. But see, again, what they don't put in here is sometimes there'll be certain other things, like in Florida, when they say, how old is your roof? And you say it's 16 years old. They say, oh, you got to get another roof before we insure you. Otherwise, no insurance. Oh, and by the way, now that we're talking about flooding, we need you to get flood insurance. And you're like, there's never been a flood here ever. Well, you don't get flood insurance. We won't cover you for something else. This is not only Florida. It's going on all throughout the Southeast. In California, they're sitting there telling people you were had a wildfire over here 10 years ago. We're not going to cover you anymore. This is what we're dealing with, ladies and gentlemen. And if you think it's just going to be relegated to places that have these type of things, here's the other kicker. You think they're going to let insurance companies make money. You don't really think that they're going to let people who are not in the affected zones off cheap either, do you? Sooner or later, what are they going to do? They're going to start raising those prices because they're going to go, well, I guess you're going to have to move to one of these other high-risk areas. So they're going to start raising their prices. It's capitalism. How are you going to be able to stay ahead? I'm waiting for these answers because I want to know if you guys are going to sit on the sidelines. It's not going to be pretty. All right. Now let's go down the list. I've been talking for a minute. Jawway J. James Way's in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream with the icon. And he says, hello all. Got notifications. Any updates from Oscar? Because you know the rent is too damn high. P.S. Try some squeezed lemon and honey and tea. Hey, here's the first line. You know I have some of that honey, lemon, echinacea. And that's what I have in here, by the way. All of what you just mentioned is also in here. That's right. Very good call, James Way. And thank you once again for being here. And I appreciate your support. And I appreciate the try some squeezed lemon with honey and tea, just what the doctor ordered. So we'll see if Wednesday, 2 days from now, is taking the twist. Victor Morero, 3 Yield Max ETFs paid dividends today. ULT. Wait. ULTY, YMAG, YMAX. These paid the third week of every month. Per share dividend payments were, so I got 59 cents for my YMAG. Or wait, how come I didn't get a notification? That's weird. What does he mean? Well, then again, I haven't had my phone all day, but maybe I did. Oh, I did get a notification. I think. Let's see what happened. I got something. Go check mine. That's crazy. Yep. YMAX. Yep. And yep. And Coney a week ago. TSLY and VDY. Oh, yeah. All good, ladies and gentlemen. I like it. So 59 cents for YMAG, right? That's what I got. Nope, I have YMAG. So there we go. NVIDIA, SoundHound AI gaining momentum 50% year to date. Hey, it's going to keep growing the AI market. NVIDIA is one of the top dogs. Curtis Davis says deep insurance rates are jumping high around country, California, Florida, Louisiana. Here's what's worse. The worst part is there's people that can't get any coverage. That's a thing. And you would not even suspect in places like Tennessee, Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, all of that is people, they pick zip codes that they will not cover. Regardless, they're just saying, we won't insure you. In fact, they'll tell you, take a lower carrier. You can't get insurance from a tier 1. This is how bad it's getting, ladies and gentlemen. So now it puts you in a situation like the retirees in the southern states that had the hurricanes come through. No insurance, house gets wiped out. They don't have any money to replace the house. It cost a hell of a lot more money than what they bought it for to replace it. So now what? So this puts more Americans, more citizens at risk because you can't just go, oh, okay, I guess I'll take my dolls and dishes and go to where? You have no place to go. So what's going to happen? It's crazy. Paul Castillo says, Eric, I just got 100% increase my homeowner's insurance in Florida. That's insane. It's getting bad. Yes. Paul Castillo, thank you for saying that, because a lot of people out here are still in denial. They're in denial that these things are going up like that, and they're in denial that people are getting totally canceled, meaning you can't get insurance no matter who you call. That's a thing. And this is a thing you do not control. So that means the only things you control is either you have to make more money or you have to be flexible. You have to have places that you can go that is not in the line of fire. So you can still have a house in Florida, but unfortunately, who's going to pay the insurance? And if you had a mortgage, that too. That means you would have to have ridiculous rental rates, which there you go with the ridiculous rental rates. So it's a no-win scenario in that case. So then you have to make yourself flexible where you would say, well, I got assets in different locations. Maybe I need to sell this asset. Most Americans and people around the world move on average something like every 7 years. So that's not that bad. I mean, that's how it goes. Crazy out here. Blade Escona, welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. Another investor's in the house. And he says, buenos noches, familia. Buenos noches to you. I hope everyone is okay. I'm just a little under the weather. That's why I'm coughing a little bit. I have a house in New Jersey and the insurance increased a lot too. Yeah, exactly. Thank you for mentioning that, Blade Escona, because that is exactly how I see it playing out. So what they're going to do is they're going to get rid of the high risk people, like I was saying earlier, and everybody that's been paying and they're considered somewhat risk but low risk, they're going to raise theirs. That's better than raising the ones that we know is going to be a problem that we're going to have to pay out, right? Why would we even insure these guys that we know we're going to have to pay out unless they pay us some stupid rate? It'd be easier to tell another person who's in a low risk area, hey, man, it's going to cost you an extra couple of $1,000 annually. What can they do? Nothing. Zero. But hold on. There's always something you can do, right? You might want to start thinking about business control. Victor Marrero, Laverne Penix, a few others may understand what I'm talking about, because once you do the business control, now all of a sudden you have a business, and most people are buying their home as an individual. Reversing into a business, and now all of a sudden you start going, hey, I got depreciation. My insurance is going to be a write-off. Now you guys understand why the rich get wealthier, because they are getting write-offs along the way. Paul Castillo, I know, where in Florida are you? Only the mom and pop insurance companies are doing new policies, and these charge crazy premiums. Exactly. This is what I was talking about. The tier one say, oh no, we're not going to insure you. You got to go to tier two, tier threes, and tier two, tier threes. All of a sudden they go, oh, thank you for bringing us a whole lot of money if they pay. But here's the worst part, ladies and gentlemen. You could pay the premium, but let something happen. They just go, bye-bye. We'll open up another company. It's bad. So how can you protect yourself, really? Well, that's the $1 million question. And this is why I always say, have options available to you. That's why you might want to build something in different locations, different countries, in fact. But I have to say right now, with the way weather patterns are, it's almost like, why even build anything made of wood? No matter where it is, quite frankly. And why are you going to build on hillsides? It doesn't work too well, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Brian P's in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream with the icon next to your name. And he says, hello, Eric. I hope all is well with you. We're trying to get there. Hello, SSN family. I got the notification video. Thank you. That's 7 people today. Thank you for the articles as well. We just were talking about one. Paul Castillo, Victor Marrero. I'm in Tampa. Progressive raised my rate 100%. I was lucky to find another policy with State Farm. Hey, Paul Castillo, you have to look around. They're making you jump through hoops. And it's bad. And who knows what's going to happen next year? They can just say we're not going to renew like they've done millions of other people. All right. I smashed that like button. I appreciate that, Brian P. Everybody else, hit that like button because you never know. Share the videos as well. All right, Eric, you get my emails? Yes. We talked about the lady already. We talked about the 418 settlement with NAR, National Association of Realtors. So that's very, very interesting. Victor Marrero, in the process of finding new insurance, they also hit me with the hefty fine for not, oh my God, that's crazy. Knowing people are out here having to search for these ridiculous rates. And now they're putting pressure on people talking about you've been a week late or something. This is crazy, man. This is what we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen. Who's going to save you? You notice, okay, let's just get real. So all this insurance, right? We have government. We have governors. They basically head the state, right? We have a legislature. They are powerless against business because a business can charge whatever they want. So what are they supposed to do? Mandate like a socialist society and say, hey, man, you can never charge people more than $2,000 annually. They'll just say we won't be in business. So, I mean, there's a no-win scenario here. So again, who's going to save you? You have states running amok, insurance companies running amok in these states, and half of the states pretty much. Is there any government that's going to stop them? Hell no. That'd be almost like communism. But even then, that won't work. So it's a no-win scenario, and you better get assets from around the world. That's all I can tell you. It's your only options. All right. Thank you for reading my emails. You're welcome, man. Thank you for sending them over because, again, I mean, I see this stuff, but I don't have enough time to get to them. At Paul Castillo, thanks for the tip. I own a home in Brandon and the one in Kissimmee. I'm calling State Farms this week then because I also have Progressive. There you go. Nice tips. Everybody in Florida, if you got Progressive, State Farm, and what was the other one? Because that's 3, actually. And I think some of the insurance companies stay out of certain counties as well in Florida and around the world. Paul, damn, what happened to the grace period between policies? Exactly. I am so over these companies. They're taking us to the cleaners. Exactly, Victor Marrero. This is why 4 years ago, why I started talking about Dominican Republic, for instance, and I started talking about alternative locations around the world. Not that those places are going to be way better, but if I know exactly what we're going to pay from year to year versus waking up tomorrow, getting a letter and saying, surprise, an extra $3,000 this year for either property taxes and insurance, and your HOA goes up. Next thing you know, it's like another $800 to $1,000 a month. But you've never done anything like file any claims against insurance. Never. The property taxes is what everybody in the community supposedly pays. It's like, this is just crazy. No subsidies coming for you. So just keep that in mind. All right. So once again, I want to bring up something else. I'm pretty sure I have another special that I wanted to bring up. Let me see if I can find it here. Um, let's see. No, we already went over the Florida insurance crisis. So, this is one of my favorites. Yeah, this isn't. I know it's usually money making Monday, but today and Friday I wanted to go over two things, and unfortunately I'm under the weather, so I can't get into my usual hysteria about things. But oh man, don't tell me, really. Oh, I'm not going to be able to show this one about the hospitals looting Americans, plundering of America's hospitals. Man, I just wanted to show people. So, how do they get you? Food, finances, health. If you don't have a hospital to go to, you don't have untainted food, you got a problem. That's what's going to go down, right? So, I can't show this, unfortunately, because this was going to be talking about hospitals, and it's basically the takeover of corporations. So if anything, I've talked about insurance, we've talked about real estate, HOAs, we've talked about the liabilities with real estate property taxes. So all of a sudden you start doing a checklist, and it's like things to avoid. How can you avoid these? Unfortunately, you really can't. So some people used to say you shouldn't rent. Well, there's two sides to every coin. Some people would say, well, if I rent, I can always make moves. Some people would say, if I rent, at least I know what my price is going to be. And you don't get to dictate to the insurance company, hey, man, I've been paying for 5 years on time, and why are you raising me 100%? And then they're going to respond with, well, we have less people now, and it's higher risk. So they have every right to do it. There's nothing we can do. So we talked about several things that you have zero control over, but you only think you have to start thinking asset. You have to start thinking, if I buy a house, maybe I should buy it under a business name. Okay. I never told you guys about any. I might have mentioned it occasionally, but yeah, you put it under a business name. Yeah, here we go. They got a delay on the WiMAX stuff. Yeah, no, yeah. This is where this is going. Like I did the thing about the third world country. Hey, Eric, Bank of America, ACH fees, 8 million class action settlement. This is what's going down, ladies and gentlemen. There's nothing we can do. Nothing you can do. Again, there's B of A doing their usual BS. Like I said, they've been doing this for ever since they've been a bank. I mean, all these banks have been doing this to people. Start thinking about thousands of people where they siphon off, a few $100 every month. That's why the fine print says when you hand over your money, it's their money. So when you try to take it out, what do you want it for? That's why. Thank you. Yes, I saw that. It went out. But again, money making Mondays, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't learned anything in the last 5 years, the one thing mostly talked about here is assets, ways to get something that makes money for you and can grow in value as well. That's a win-win. Because you need those assets to pay for things when they say, oh, just like Paul Castillo was talking about, the insurance went 100%. That's an extra is $1,700, $2,000 per month, unexpected. I mean, annually, sorry, $275 per month. On people living paycheck to paycheck, that extra 175 is major. And that's not the only thing that went up, because we all know groceries have to go up. Energy has to go up. So overall, it could be an extra $500 per month. Insurance just went up for car insurance as well. So registration on your car went up, even though your car is getting older. Go figure. But things are happening that you have zero control over, liabilities. So start thinking buy assets. So nothing wrong with an LLC being able to buy something. Corporation being able to buy something. Trust being able to buy something. Nothing wrong with all those above being able to have a 401k as well. So think about all those options, ladies and gentlemen. Money Making Monday still applies because nobody's coming to save you financially. We have people right now wanting to pay for school vouchers instead of giving free meals for lunch or even breakfast. You understand, pay for vouchers. Right? That's more money coming back. Okay, let's go. I'm going to do something real quick. You guys know what this means. Stop cam. Check this out. Clip. Brian P is saying get clip, KLIP, ladies and gentlemen. That's a dividend stock. In fact, Victor Marrero mentioned some dividend stocks, and I think that's why we all of a sudden had a glitch. Look at these ones he mentioned too. Write these down. Those are the dividends, ladies and gentlemen. After Victor Marrero mentioned these, all of a sudden we started having a little glitchy stuff going on. Crazy. It's all right. It's all good, ladies and gentlemen. So, let's see. I think I found some pictures I told you guys, they're no videos. So we'll have to see about getting some videos out. All right. Let's go. It is wealth grows just as fast as they can charge you. So what I mean is we have a home. I don't have a home right now, but let's say you have a home and you have a mortgage and all that. The value of the home is potentially go up or down, but history says it's going to go up eventually, of course, because of inflation. But the way I see it is you're paying for it. Every monthly amount plus interest, you're actually paying for the value of the home plus the interest. So again, I've done this several times over the years. Google actually changed their mortgage calculator. I don't know why, But just in case we have new people here tonight who does not understand the American nightmare that you're entering into, um, let me explain. Some people would say it's not a nightmare, and those would be the people who may say, well, my house went up 40-50%, so I sold it. But then all the houses went up 40-50%, so you're going to have to move somewhere else. Now, this is very interesting because they used to include the total amount of interest, and now they don't. I'm actually going to bring this on the screen, so I'll show you guys what I'm referring to here. So check this out. Check this out. Okay. Yeah, see, they don't have it anymore, even when I include it. Oh, wait, maybe we do now. I have to click on something. Let's see. So here's what's the average? 460 for a home now or something? Let's go. 500,000. So they're being generous with the 1750 annual, but it doesn't matter. Monthly payment, $34.79. That includes your property tax, home insurance. Where's the HOA? Well, they have 0 here. All right. So now you're seeing the loan is $28.12, right? And 30 years at 7.5. Okay, most people will not have that term because generally interest rates will go below 7.5 eventually. But if you can see this, 2812 times what is that, 30 years? It's 30 years times 12. Okay, I'll do times 12 times 30. That's 1.12 mil. Okay, I want to point something out for all the new people. I use 2812. If you do this term and did this, which again, highly unlikely, but if we use this 3479 number, you're not going to like this. 3479 times 12 months times 30 years, 1.252. And there's one little problem with this. Your property tax, home insurance is going to go up. So this 1.2 number is actually, who knows what the number is going to be. So, and when you decide to sell your house after 20, 25 years, you've pretty much got to $1 million. So if your house is worth 1.2 or whatever, congratulations. Believe me, you've spent it. So I just want to show that again for everybody who thinks they're being safe financially because they own a house. And there's other things I didn't include. Your ACs do not last 30 years. Your heaters do not last 30 years. Your fridges don't last 30 years unless you have one from 1975 or 1985 or something. Washers and dryers and dishwashers don't last 30 years. Those aren't cheap. I mean, and if you think you're not going to have any issues and don't have to do any maintenance, like roof eventually, ask people in the states that are requiring people to have new roofs how much they cost now. They're no longer 15, 20 grand. Brian P, Victor Morel, Brian P, yes sir. Clip pays the fourth week of every month, around 62 cents. Plus the stock is only $15. Crazy return. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is why you should have your pen, pad, and paper with you. You just never know what's going to happen. All right. We'll see. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know what you think. Who will save you financially? If it's not going to be you, it's not going to be the government, it's not going to be your family and friends. Well, you better get on the train with the SSN Nation family, because we're trying to lead you to a certain path of assets that pay you, understand what you can do. You can make maneuvers. You want to be like the, rich guys. Then you buy. I would almost venture to say you should almost try to buy everything as a business, if it was possible, if the accountants or, you can't write off everything, but it's almost like that now, because you're going to need to write off a lot of stuff. Energy bills, we can do that anyhow, but now it's a complete business. We run our business out of our home. I'm on YouTube. I'm showing the home. So it's not just a little office of 100 square feet. It's bigger than this. I mean, you can do all kind of things. You got that 6,000-pound vehicle. Go buy a jet.
Come on, come on.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go. You've got to save yourself. Exactly, Brian P. Brian P also says I have 815 shares. So people, he's being quite honest about what he has. So 815 shares times, what was that, 0.62, I think. That would mean around $505.30, if that's the right number. Plus he has other things as well. So he's getting, if it seems he might be getting approaching $5,000 to $6,000 per month. Some would say, what's the investments? Well, I don't know what that is, but I can get an idea. I can only ask you one thing. If somebody said spend 100,000 and you're going to get 5,000 to 6,000 per month, is it worth it? I would argue yes, because I didn't have to work for it. Brian P, nice. That's way over 500 per month just in clip. Happy for you. Only have 210 shares. Hey, only. That's a start. And by the way, you reinvest, allow it to reinvest, make money for you. You're on the train, right? Victor Marrero, Brian P, and the rest of the SSN Nation members, you guys know what time it is with this. You're letting your money work for you while you're sleeping, while you're sick, while you're on vacation, right? That's what we're doing. All right. So once again, I've been playing a little bit extra commercials. I came late, but there's a reason why. Because we're trying to get this event together in the Dominican Republic, and it's taking its unexpected turn, shall we say. Was going to have some things in certain locations, and all of the locations are, well, Larimar, after we got our little tiff, that can't work. And plus the fact I don't think it would work anyhow because I don't think they're going to be ready. Club 365 on the beach. The owners came in and all of a sudden said, "Dude, these contracts, we don't care for the musical events. We got to toss those, get some, we'll renegotiate." Okay. So that means we have to talk to other people, but nonetheless, stuff is still going. We'll see what happens, but we can't do any promos or tickets until it's finalized on Wednesday. It'll be finalized one way or another because I actually automatically went to plan A, B, C, D, E as we should. So I already have backup stuff. It's just that I thought 365 because we have contractual stuff that we were talking about. So, things happen. But how do you persevere through it? We adapt. We change. That's how you survive, ladies and gentlemen. Things are going to come up. The obstacles, are you going to go over the obstacles or are you going to let them stop you? You're not going to let them stop you. So we'll make it happen. So anyhow, all right. So once again, who will save you financially? We already had somebody saying nobody, only you. You know our shirts, no fear, no excuses, but we also have nobody's coming to save you as well. Wealth grows and it goes exponential, so you need all the assets you can get. What's the latest on your closing date? I mentioned to you I received a letter stating I won't close until March 2020. You talking about Larimar? Larimar's acting just like Conor Rock. They're saying September 2025, December 2025, whatever. I don't see how that happens. You guys know I call it like I see it. Whether the guys love me or hate me, they know I'm calling it like I see it. Them out here pretending like it's gonna. I don't get it. They're acting like they're building things on flat land. And again, I'll say this for everybody. You know how islands are formed, right? It's generally something has to rise higher than the water levels. Generally, that means some sort of volcanic, some sort of underwater motion happened to create this uplift. Could be tectonic plates sliding underneath each other and moving things up. There's a myriad of things. But that also means you don't know what you're going to get into once you start drilling down. You don't know if there's pockets of air. You don't know what you're going to find. And you're going to have to hold tons. So I just don't know. So how long is it going to take them to do a foundation to hold 16-story high buildings? I think that's going to be a problem. I mean, seriously. So all I'm going to say is they haven't built any floors yet. Not one floor. So how are they going to do it in a year and in 12 days? It's going to be April, May, June, July, August. That's 6 months. That's 18 months. Looking at, and Victor Morel says in March 2025 is 1 year from now. Conor Rock has not shown that they're going to be building any. They're on that video you sent me. I don't know if it was a month old or it doesn't even matter. It was only 3.5 floors. I think it's supposed to be 6 floors now. They're not even finished. They haven't even built. They don't even have windows in. Or the exterior gray. So there's no way. I don't see how they're doing that in a year. I see. I don't get it. They're just making stuff up. Making stuff up. That's all they're doing. This is why I advise everybody to go to the Dominican Republic and you actually pay attention and look online. You go and see, like, I had to actually go back and look at which project was it? I think it was Oceana. All these projects are late. All of them. All of them. I mean, this is absurd. Panorama Garden, 2022. Here it is, 2024. They're not done. And from some of the pictures I've been seeing, the Zen place is there. There's a yoga, I don't know what it is. It's supposed to be a yoga fitness center maybe there. But what I don't see is a couple of things. There was supposed to be a pool by the Zen place in some of the renderings. I don't see a big hole next to Zen place right now. That doesn't mean they can't build it still, but I don't see it. So I'm like, that might be changes. And I also don't see the gardens that was supposed to be there and pools. I see, so there must be more to be made. And if that's the case, then they're not going to be done anytime soon either. I mean, this is just absurd. And sadly, I didn't get my funding from the one guy that said, I'm sending it over the paperwork with my attorney. I agree. I'm signing. I'll wire you the funds. The funds didn't hit the account. The attorney's letter didn't come. No message about what's going on. I think I was like, did the guy drop dead? No, we got business dealings with them. So I'm like, this is unusual. So we have to go to number 2 because we wasted a month and a half. Brian P says $1.19 per share. Damn, that's pretty good right there. Last 3 months. Is that the average? Or is that total? Brian P for clip. I think that's the average. That's $500 per month, ladies and gentlemen. And Victor Marrero mentioned it earlier. What was that? $15, isn't it? Yeah. $15. So now you guys can actually get an idea. Let's just do it this way. We'll do $17 times 500. That's $8,500. So if somebody told you spend $8,500 and you will get $6,000 per year, 6,000 divided by 8,500. Oh my, this is a sales. I don't even want to say this number. If they keep this up, that would be 70% return, which is impossible. High risk, high rewards with high returns. But it's happening. And you guys hear about it right here. Thank you, Victor Marrero. What's the latest on your closing date? Yeah, Victor, like I said, man, they're still saying September 2025. They don't show any pictures of the cliff, because if you see pictures of the cliff and you don't see even a foundation being built, then you know, and you don't see any of those man-made beaches out front being built, you know these can't be built in 2 months, 3 months, 5 months, 6 months, 8 months, a year. So the longer you don't see those, even a foundation down, you know we can't get to level 1, 2, 3 And there's more to it. Again, I'm a little irritated because there's more to it. Remember, the beach clubs are going to be on the first level. There's supposed to be another level above that. So how do you build those levels? I I don't know. You either have to take out something, which would be high risk, high rewards, but that causes all, or you have to bring in something to create it, or build cement, or well, cement deteriorates, but you have to build something that can get you another level. So how is that going to happen? You got to start clearing something if you got levels. So I just don't see how this is. If somebody tells me, hey, we might have one tower, I even then I'm skeptical. I'm skeptical. Let's call it what it is. FEPI Brian P. Okay, let's see what we got. FEPI Rex Fang Innovation. I wonder why he directed me to look at Rex Fang Innovation Equity Premium. Running a little sideways for year to date, 7% for the last 6 months, but down in the last 5 days, but only 1%, so nothing major. Basically moving sideways, which is fine. If they may give some decent dividends, we might not mind that. But what is it? It's Innovation Equity Premium. Okay. So again, do your own homework, ladies and gentlemen. I'm pretty sure he gave me that for a reason. This is why NVIDIA, AMD, CRM, Micron. Very interesting. Very interesting. Hey, I can't. Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. It's my daughter calling me. She doesn't know that I'm on the live stream, I guess. Let me let her know. Just a second. So anyhow, I have to tell her later I'm on the live stream. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Eric, about Larimar, I spoke with Gwen a couple of weeks back, and he's still positive about Clear HP. I know, delivering on time, but I'm definitely skeptical about it. Yeah. I talk. I've talked to Gwen as well. All those guys are bullish. All those guys, they're bullish. As soon as we get to mile markers, I start realizing, I was like, wait, if when we were there in November, if they didn't remember, September, October, November was 2 months away from 2 years. So it was 1 year, 10 months. That's a timeline where they should have had 6, 7, 8 stories up, by now. The fact that they just constantly think that there's some magic act, I'm just like, I don't get it, because you're not showing this magic act on other projects that you're building or helping build. So, I mean, you're not building 4 floors or 5 floors in a month or 2 months or 3 months or 4 months. If they were doing that, then I would say, okay, possibilities. But if you're not building 5 floors in less than 4 months, then there's no way I think you're going to build 16 floors in less than 4 times 4, right? The math may not math properly, but if you say, okay, Eric, they can do 1, then I start saying, well, can they do 4? Can they do Horizon? Can they do Prime Towers 1 and 2? Can they build the cliff also with pools? Can they build a sports complex out back? All that was supposed to be done. And I don't see how you're going to do that, because if that could be done, everybody would be hiring them, because projects aren't even that big. When you start talking about man-made pools and man-made beaches, and somebody says, okay, just build me they're talking a half a kilometer, half a mile. I don't know which one they were talking about, but either way, that's a long way. But if somebody came to you and say, hey, make me a man-made beach that's a 0.2 of a kilometer, let's use it that way, or 0.2 of a mile. And then behind that, you're supposed to make a retail centers. Okay, fine. And then they said, hey, build me 4 5-story buildings. And I don't know how we get around this, because there's nobody that's going to be able to build me 4 5-story buildings, man-made beach, in apparently under 4 years. I mean, I don't know what I'm missing here, but somebody better start speaking up if you're a builder developer. I mean, I know that we could, if we didn't have the man-made pools, the beaches, and all this other stuff, that's a whole different story. You'd just be building these structures. You can do that. But when you start adding on the 9 holes of golf course, oh yeah, okay, somebody else is going to build it, great. But you can't there's only so much equipment you can put in an area to do something. It's not like you can just bring up tons of equipment. I mean, you're building this way, east, west, north, south. I mean, that's, the structural, the engineers and all that who are going to be there, they're the ones that's going to do it. And for this whirlwind event, just like Atlanta, just like VistaCon and all these guys, all I know is this: if I don't show video of my project on in fact, I thought about this myself. What would you do if you owned real estate and you were a developer and you want to keep your clients who gave you money for an awesome project up to date? What would you do? Well, for one, I would post video cam. I'd be posting the video cam. So then there would be no dispute. You'd be seeing the people and what they're doing. You would say, all right. You would let everybody know, full disclosure. You'd be like, okay, they started this building here in January 2024. They're up to level 2, and it's June 2024. So then nobody in their right mind is going to tell somebody, oh yeah, we're going to build 3 more of these buildings and we're going to be done in a year. You'd be like, you've lost your mind, because we just watched you build 2 floors in 6 months. So how are you going to build another 3 floors and 3 more buildings in a year and a half? You'd be like, the math doesn't math. And you still have to do the interiors. So that's what I'm talking about. This isn't like rocket science. Now, if you start saying we're going to build stuff like, okay, I won't even get into it. But all I have to say about this is when it comes to builders, they have every reason to stay optimistic, right? It's in their favor because you're still going to send them money. Here we go. Marlon Jordan, welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream with the icon next to his name. Glad to see you here. And again, thank you so much for your donation last week. I appreciated that. LOSSN. Naval is still moving around dirt for Atlanta, the River Island project. However, I did hear that they created an area where cement will be stored and mixed. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, the funnels are there. I all I could say is I just thought it was for show. There's two. Excuse me. There's two. I saw two silos last pick I saw. But I was like, okay, so how are they going to fill these up? That's going to be interesting. So I don't know. But it doesn't change things. Who's the constructor? Noval's not a constructor. So who's going to build their structures? Well, Claire HP, who's building Larimar, is supposed to be building part of their structure for Atlanta. So I don't know who the other ones might be, but all I'm saying is they're still moving dirt around. Like Marlon Jordan says. Marlon Jordan, when's the last time you've seen anything about Atlanta? I mean, I will give Atlanta some credit. At least they came out with this fanciful, we're moving dirt around and made a design in the sand kind of thing. That was kind of funny. Victor Morero, exactly. Think that's a cultural thing, not sending videos, photos, etc. If it was me, I'd be sending information, emails, and pictures at least once a month. We'll also do a Zoom call quarterly. Exactly, Victor Morero. I agree. Because everything Victor Morero is saying right here is one of the reasons I get to do Takeover 2024. Because all of these measures is a standard that we're going to operate under. So everything he's saying is what you should do when people are entrusting potentially hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars to your care to build them their dream. So the least you can do is go get some $500 cameras and put them up so then people can see night and day what's happening. They can see security walking around. They could see the development going down throughout the day, and they could see everything, full transparency. Some people might call up and say, hey, man, there was nobody out there today. What's going on? But hey, that's part of development. People who paid the money have every right to ask questions. No problem. Right? And I agree with this entirely. There should be videos going out. Anything new that should be a rejoice. That should be like, hey, guys, this is what we're doing. This is what we've done this week, or this is what we're doing. I mean, why not? In fact, that's what the manager of the project, that's what he should be doing. He should be already filming this stuff. Hey, this is what we started right now, boss. Not have to say it like that, but you know, this is what we're starting right now. Everybody that's part of this project, this is our road. This is going to be X, Y, and Z road. This is where it's going to be. Give a little description. He knows the plans. I don't understand why these guys aren't doing that over there. I just see infiltration is easy. I just see how takeover is going to be easy because all this is missing. I don't get. I don't understand. I really don't. I really, really don't. Um, and the Zoom call thing too. I don't get none of this. All these guys want to sell stuff, but they don't want to come talk to the people. And granted, I can't speak Spanish, so you're going to have Spanish and English and French and all kind of different languages, right? But hey, we can get other people that speak those languages as well on the team. So I agree. I mean, look, we have Gwen that we just talked about. Gwen speaks three. Well, he speaks English, Spanish, French. So there's people on the island that can speak multiple languages, not just two. So there's a way it should be done. And in my opinion, that would be more trustworthy and transparent. And then if people start understanding the bill process, then they would start saying things like what I'm saying right now. They'd be like, hey, you guys, you're saying delivery is going to be like in 2025, but you don't even have a foundation. And people will start talking to their builder friends. And they'll start asking, hey, man, what does this look like to you? And then they're going to say, well, how many floors? What else is going to be here? When's it expected? And then they say 1 year from now. They're going to say, what are you talking about? They don't even have a foundation down. They can't do 1 year. Not from what you've told me. And they're supposed to do 4 of these or 3 of these buildings. Everybody's going to say, no, there's no way. I shouldn't say there's no way. There is a way, but unfortunately, that would be the cheap way. I did see something very interesting from Victor Morel's standpoint. I noticed out at Rock, it looked like they were doing something a little different. I could have sworn I saw like little nets with the bars in between, somewhat to keep it like a little honeycomb. Now, if they do this method, that is pretty cool, because what that means is they're going to dump the cement, and that automatically layers down just like you need it to layer down. That would be awesome if they do that, because that's a lot faster. A lot. So it'll be interesting to see if that's what they decide to do for the remainder of their project. Paul Castillo. The pace these projects are built, it could possibly take easily 5 years to complete the first phase. That's insane. We didn't sign up for that. Exactly. And if you start tracking projects, everybody's going to say, well, COVID. Okay, fine. Great. But here's the problem. If you have projects that started in 2017, 2018, 2019, and 2020, how long are we supposed to give COVID a break here? I mean, 2 years? Okay. Let's give him 2 years. If you're in 2017, 2018, 2019, 2 years, but now it's 4, 5, 6 years later. So 4 years, what's your excuse for 4 years? I mean, so you never were going to be building it in 2.5 years or 2 years. That was never really a thing then. See, that's where I go with this. I'm like, well, fine. Just like right now, I got Panorama Gardens. I just looked. It was supposed to be delivered in 2022. All right. Here it is 2 years later. Still not delivered. So this pandemic thing, whatever you want to say, it just proves the point that nobody's building 4 or 5 stories in a year of any significance. It's not happening. Not happening. Victor Morero, I've been telling them that even if they move a rock to send me pictures of that. Yes, I'm sure it will be pretty advanced when we go this year. I don't know. I don't know what that video you showed me from, I guess that was a few months ago. I'm not happy to see this. This is after 3, 4, 5 years. I thought, okay, we were I'm trying to think. It was December 2023? No. December 2022 when they just had sticks in the ground at Galaxy. And here it is, another year and a half or year and 4 or 5 months, whatever. And they're just on level 2.5 or something. I'm like, what is this? I don't get it. I really, really don't get it. But here's the other thing, Victor Marrero, I want to point something out to you and everybody else. That Conarock video, I wish I had it up. Notice there's brand new projects right next door. Clearly not Conarock. So I don't know what is going on out there, but there's another complex right next door, and it looks like it's finished to me, or the exterior looks to be finished. But this is what I'm talking about. All these other projects can catch up if you have builders that are going to build on time. So yes, you have the values, possibly you have an advantage that you paid way less, but now your money's been locked up for way longer. They can start getting a return on their investment faster. So it's a, catch 22. All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's right. Real estate investing is another way you should think about, just like your home. Think of that as a real estate investment for business, not personal. I think a lot of people should understand you will get saved if you think business first. Instead of going with the Joneses and listening to banks and listening to the American dream propaganda and all that. Number one is financial services, by the way. The billionaires, millionaires, the most, number one. Because they make money passively. You're out here sweating. You're out here having to get to work on time. Meanwhile, you have to pay the notes. You know what? I don't think this is very heavy. This piece of paper, this contract you sign, it's not very heavy, and I don't have to get up any time. I don't have to worry about it. You signed it. Now you get to go out to go work for it. All I did was have the paper or wait for you to fund it. And this is something that's very interesting that is what I don't get also when we start talking about Dominican Republic and real estate around the world, is that you guys just sign a piece of paper. Let's say, like when I do what we're doing, and you say, yeah, I want this 2-bedroom for $175,000. You put your signature on there, and you say, yeah, I'm gonna make $1,000 a month payment for 2 years, right? And I'm going to pay this $175,000. Here's the thing. A lot of you may know that what's the ultimate end game is that you're going to owe maybe 30%, 40% on the backside. So here I have somebody who's making $1,000 or more, could be $1,500 a month payments for 30 months, 24 months. We deliver it. And they come to me and say, hey, I can't fund it. Well, what I'm trying to figure out is, since I have your piece of paper, I'm trying to figure out why these guys haven't turned these into derivatives. Or a derivative means I go and sell the paper, which I don't really want to do. Or I just become the lien holder for the remaining 30%, and you pay me higher than the normal rate, so you don't have to qualify. You qualify in-house. I don't mind collecting 7, 8, 9% annually. I keep a person who I know pays on time. Why wouldn't I do that? And now this piece of paper may not be as valuable as it once was, but I still didn't have to pay for it as a business. So anyhow, this is what I don't understand as well. But I know why some of these guys don't do it. There's several reasons. One is they may not hold the actual title, like what's happened at Primavera 2. And Jaway J is going through this as well. They're building buildings, but for whatever reason, these 2.5 years, 3 years, somebody has to start explaining how come they don't have the title already. So Primavera 2
Come on, come on.
Eric Franklin, the artist. All right. Sorry for the abrupt ending, but Primavera 2 started selling in 2019, 2020 for their Simon residencies. Sold out 2021, June or May or whatever it was. So now it's 3 years later. They send a letter in December talking about it may take us 3 months or more to get title. I'm like, what do you mean? Why would you not have title already? See, this is something that is weird to me. So the situation is weird from the standpoint of if you buy the land, then you're subdividing it, saying we're going to build condos here. So that means how many condos are we building? Each one has to have its own title. And so therefore we can actually do with the planning department, say this is what the title, we can get everything together. So what this indicates to me is that a lot of people are in these deals where they might have the right to. And that could be problematic in some cases, right? Because now, without fully paying, you can't get the deed unless your land and everything is paid for, which should have been paid for a long time ago. So there could be, we don't know. That's the thing, and they're not transparent. So I'm just saying these are the type of things that could happen. But all I know is Primavera did this, so did Las Risa Paul. It seems that once it's delivered, just like the beach, they're saying things like, well, we'll have title for you in 3 months or 4 months or 6 months. And I'm like, why wouldn't you have title already? And in some instances, we've had people moving in without title to some of these complexes. Another problem. Because now oftentimes you get tricked up because some people are trying to get their electricity turned on, and they're like, well, you're not on title. So, I mean, this is crazy stuff happening. And they let it go. No real laws. I guess you could do this anywhere in America too. I don't know, but I've never heard of this type of stuff. So anyhow, you still need to buy assets no matter where you want to get them. Start a business or buy a business is better. So in this way, you always know what's going on, ladies and gentlemen. All right, just keep that in mind. All right, now just remember, if you have anything that you want to discuss, you can always put it in the comment section. Make sure you smash the like button if you like what we're talking about so far. If you want to share the videos, please share with other people to get on the train. This is the SSN Nation train. It's leaving the station shortly. We're going to find out if it's going to be leaving quickly or a few more months. Because something tells me the Federal Reserves, well, I guess they're not going to do anything. Or are they? Are they going to raise the interest rate? Their federal funds rate? I doubt it. But it would be nice to see. I want to see it. I want to see the cojones. Something they should have done 5 months ago. I want to see it. So we're going to find out a lot here shortly, ladies and gentlemen. It's the 18th of the month. Remember our May 9th. This is turned into something that's going to be awesome. May 9th through the 12th, music event, Punta Cana. If you want to stay longer, your ticket gets you into our May 13th, 14th, and 15th. We're going to do real estate. So this real estate we've been talking about, you would be able to go to. We're going to go see the lawyers. We'll be at the round table. We'll be there. You'll be there. You can ask questions. That'll be included. All right. So there will be no excuse. So if you say, I want to know about immigration, you can ask. If you say, I want to know about residency, you can ask. If you say, I want to know about real estate, development, starting a business, management, you can ask. Not only can you ask, but these lawyers are top notch. And so therefore, if you want to retain them, then you get the SSN Nation price. Substantially less. All right. Not saying you have to do anything, but you can ask questions. We sat there, I think, if E. White's still here, George's Charles was asking a question for an hour last time. So, and we were probably there for an hour and a half, 2 hours. So I'm just saying, builders, developers, last time we got to somewhat, but time was everything. It rained a day, but it don't matter. There was a holiday. But you want to open a bank account. Well, then you should be bringing your passport, obviously, second form of ID, 6 months worth of bank statements online so you can email it. Your 2022 tax returns and your W-2s. Why? Because the first day we get there, you can drop them off at the lawyer's office, and then they will call the banks because it takes 2 to 3 hours to open an account. So it's a lot nicer to already be approved. So then you say, I want a USD account. Here's my $500. You say, I want a peso account. So when I'm on the island, I can run my peso. Okay. Then you need 50 or 60 bucks, depending on which bank. So it's that simple. But you didn't have to wait at the bank for 2, 3, 4 hours. Some of the advantages. that you will have. Plus, we're going to go check out some of the projects. And if I have my way, the musicians and the music will be played in some of upcoming projects that yours truly will be involved with. That's another little thing that's going on right now. So we will see. That is yet to be resolved. So all I do know is there's going to be VIP, because there's going to be a special special welcome dinner on May 9th at 7:30 p.m. at night, 7 p.m. actually. And musicians will be playing then. So just keep that in mind. Stay tuned. All right. So things are going to get very interesting over the next 3-4 days. And things are changing too, because I got some other things I'll tell you guys about, but we'll talk about it on Wednesday. Let's see here. Well, no, this week, if interest rates remain the same, I don't get it, Victor Marrero. If the Federal Reserve was actually helping regular citizens, then they know what they have to do. They have to weed out the guys who are getting free money. And that free money that they're receiving, they get to dump on and buy assets versus the American people. And that's corporations, stock market corporations, regular corporations who's holding people's money. They get to borrow money at low rates, so then they can just outspend you for assets and increase the price at the same time to freeze out other people. It's bad. So if you know, for instance, stock buybacks, who's that good for? The corporation, stockholders, and the executives of the company, because that generates bonuses if the stock price goes up a certain amount. It's legal. But if you're not holding any of the stocks, so the rich guys keep getting richer while you're sitting at home saying, well, I don't need to invest in none of that stuff. That's how it works. And then does it not only, you have to understand, if you have lots of assets under management yourself, you can borrow against those assets, just like a corporation. And you borrow to buy other assets. See, pay attention. So even look, everybody knows Elon Musk, right? What does he do? He does the same MO. I'm going to borrow some shares of Tesla, go buy some companies worth billions. Right? He gets loans against his shares, not borrow. He gets loans against his shares. And then you say, how come he doesn't pay taxes? Well, the money he gets pays back the loans in the billions. That will minimize your tax. Win-win. I'm just saying, there's a playbook, but have you been paying attention? We're leading you down the path to the water, but you have to go further yourself and get the professionals. Just go, Eric says, all right? And they'll be like, oh, yeah, you can do that. So just keep all that in mind, ladies and gentlemen, all right? I just wish they would just raise it already. There's no, first of all, inflation is all funky right now. The government, or I shouldn't say the government, the corporations, they're just raising the prices. And then they're telling the American people, oh, it's inflation. So then when you go look at how much profit they made, then all of a sudden you find out they made all-time record highs. It damn sure wasn't inflation then, was it? But like I always tell people, they have you fighting amongst yourselves versus paying attention to what's above the fray. And you just go right along and go, yeah, Must be inflation. Inflation is going to happen naturally when you print money. You have to understand that, which is what all central banks do. So if you know they print money and you know they're not going to raise interest rates to keep inflation down, these are simple levers. That's all you have to remember. So in your head, you should be thinking anytime they say we're printing money, quantitative easing is what they call it now. Anytime you hear those words, you should cringe and you should be upset. Your taxes, everything's going to go higher. All right. Like I keep saying over and over, anytime you hear tax cuts because of new corporations coming to town, we're going to give them free land and all this other BS, you should be cringing. Because that means you're going to have bonds, you're going to have a sales tax increase, you're going to have something increasing that you are going to have to pay for their share that they should have been paying. So I've said this over and over for 5 years. And, you guys have to understand nothing will change. We have oligarchs here in America. They're just disguised as rich people. And bribery is legal in America for our legislators. So just keep that in mind. This is ridiculous, but this is how it works. This is why the rich and powerful stay rich and powerful. This is why they can squash you like a bug. If you get on the bad side of one of those rich and powerful people, they can ruin careers. They can get channel shadow banned. All right? Just keep all this in mind while you're out here fighting amongst yourselves when it should be unanimous that if I pay 20% tax and I make $75,000 a year, I should expect a person that makes, we have progressive tax. So the more money you make, the more tax you pay. So there's no way in hell that a person that makes 500,000 should pay less tax than me, right? Or 5 billion, right? But assets is a business. So again, businesses write off more than any individual can. So let me know what you guys are thinking out there, because that's the train you need to be on. Here we go. I'm thinking about pulling out of the Wave project. I can invest that money in market and probably double it by the time they deliver. Hey, Laverne Penix, I can't blame you at all. Let us know if that's an option. All right. Let us know if that's an option. Why would I say that? Because we do have some other people that purchase at the Wave, and will they give you back your money? Is the Wave Epic Ventures? I don't think it is. They could give you a 100% refund. They'll be happy because they'll get to charge new people more. But yeah, the Wave is what is this? 3 years now. Is it 21? Yeah, 3 years. Soon to be 4. Because what I saw, they're not going to be finished at the end of this year for their first phase. So now it's 2025. I mean, all of these, they all seem to be played the same way. No responsibility for on-time deliveries, all using excuses. If a hurricane comes through, they're going to use that as an excuse. And I don't understand how, because they're cement buildings that aren't even finished yet. So you got a day or 2 or 3 off. I don't get it. How does that make a delay of a year? Which, by the way, if you really start thinking, you have to really start asking yourself, right? How is it that a hurricane can come and you can say, due to the hurricane, we're delayed for 6 months to a year. Even though generally within a week later, water's receded. Yes, some lines might be down. Electricity generally may be back up. So even if it's a month, so how does that derail you an extra 6 months, a year, 2 years? I don't get it. 1 month of no work somehow derails you 6 months, a year, year and a half. That should tell you what you really need to know, right? That means they never were going to be able to build stuff. 1 month means we're going to build something in 6 months. That should tell you what you need to know. And like I said, from a logical standpoint, I agree with Laverne Penix. I've seen what, and Victor Morrell, remember when you were saying, I don't understand why they don't send pictures? This is why they don't send pictures. I know why they don't send pictures, because all the pictures they send to people, they do snap movements. So you can't really, the camera jumps around. They'll do like 3 seconds, the camera moves. So you can't really zoom in and go, oh yeah, look at what's happening. Look at this. There's no windows. There's not even a wall. So you don't really get to see stuff. And so people would actually see how minimal things are getting done. And then some people would leave their computer on and record it. Time lapse. And so ultimately people would start going, there's going to be 2 or 3 people, surely, that'll say, okay, this was January 1st. Here it is, July 1st. Wait, they haven't even finished one level in 6 months. They're telling us they're going to be done with everything in a year and a half. You'd be like, how? So that's what I'm saying. I think that's more or less why they don't do it. Because then you would have photos. Some people would take photos. They would just come in, take screenshots, be like, okay, this is what it looks like right now. And then a year and a half later, I don't get it, man. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's what we're doing. That's what we're talking about here tonight. Who will save you financially is only going to be you. So you're going to have to make sure you get some of these assets under your belts, whether it's dividend investing. We gave a few of you tonight. Whether it's going to be real estate investing, whether it's going to be starting your own business, or forget the starting your own business almost at this point. Try to buy into a business that gives you a return, not high risk, high rewards, just a return. Be a shark, like Shark Tank, right? How much money do you guys make? If I put some money in, I want 10%. Do you make the money to pay me the 10%? Yes, you do. Good investment. Let's go. If not, that's high risk. No more high risk. No more high risk. No more liabilities. No more going out buying $100,000 vehicles, $70,000 vehicles, and getting an 8-year note. No more of that. No more as many credit cards as you can get and all that. Just need a few. Just make sure it's a low number so your credit score is high. All right. By the way, for all my guys in the DR, I'm about to check out something this week. And there's something said about secured credit cards in the DR. So you can have a credit rating in the Dominican Republic. So, or, international, because you have a secured credit card. I would advise doing that. I would also advise sending money to your bank in the DR so they have a record of you doing transactions. That would be very good as well. So all that is a possibility. All right. And for that matter, it doesn't have to be DR. This is for anywhere that you're going to buy property. If you buy something in Belize or Costa Rica, doesn't matter. Thailand, Mexico, same rules apply. Get immersed into the situation because you're gonna need it. All right. You might need it. Just think offshore is offshore. You have to have a footprint there wherever you live. All right. I'm almost going to wrap this up, ladies and gentlemen. I can't really talk too much longer, so I will play one last video. Let's see. Okay. This video right here is going to be a long one, but it's appropriate. This is the Money Never Sleeps. I love this Wall Street one. If you don't see it on the replay, that's because it was a copyright strike, but I love this. So check it out.
You're all pretty much fucked. You don't know it yet, but you're the ninja generation. No income, no job, no assets. You got a lot to look forward to.
Blood, buddy. Is gonna be your blood.
Someone reminded me the other evening that I once said greed is good. Now it seems it's legal. But folks, it's greed that makes my bartender buy 3 houses he can't afford with no money down. And it's greed that makes your parents refinance their $200,000 house for $250,000. And then they take that extra $50,000, they go down to the mall. They buy a plasma TV, cell phones, computers, an SUV, and hey, why not a second home while we're at it? Because gee whiz, I mean, we all know the prices of houses in America always go up, right? And it's greed that makes the government in this country cut the interest rates to 1% after 9/11, so we could all go shopping again. They got all these fancy names for trillions of dollars of credit. CMOs, CDOs, SIVs, ABSs. I honestly think there's maybe only 75 people in the world who know what they are. But I'll tell you what they are. They're WMDs. Weapons of mass destruction. When I was away, that's what they are. It seemed like greed got greedier with a little bit of envy mixed in. Hedge funders were walking home with 50, $100 million a year. So Mr. Banker, he looks around and he says, my life looks pretty boring. So he starts leveraging his interests up to 40, 50 to 1. With your money, not his, yours. Because he could. You're supposed to be borrowing, not them. And the beauty of the deal, no one is responsible. Because everybody's drinking the same Kool-Aid. Last year, ladies and gentlemen, 40% of all American corporate profits came from financial services. Not production, not anything remotely to do with the needs of the American public. The truth is, we're all part of it now. Banks, consumers, we're moving money around in circles. We take a buck, we shoot it full of steroids, and we call it leverage. I call it steroid banking. Now, I've been considered a pretty smart guy when it comes to finance.
That's fantastic, man.
And maybe I was in prison too long, but sometimes it's the only place to stay sane and look out through those bars and say, hey, is everybody out there nuts? It's clear as a bell to those that pay attention. The mother of all evil is speculation. Leveraged debt. Bottom line, it's borrowing to the hilt. And I hate to tell you this, but it's a bankrupt business model. It won't work. It's systemic, malignant, and it's global. Like cancer. It's a disease, and we gotta fight back. How are we gonna do that? How are we gonna leverage that disease back in our favor? Well, I'll tell you. 3 words. Buy my book.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know what you're thinking about that. I always like that because in a moment in time for about 4 minutes, I mean, it's beautifully explained. And it's all for everybody to see. Yes, it was a movie, but they did a great job with this. So once again, just remember, nobody's coming to save you financially. Everything you have to do is money motivated, right? If you need to go to work, you have to put gas in your car. You get to work. You either had to bring lunch with you, breakfast with you. You had to bring it, or you go to the vending machines or whatever. You go to Starbucks or wherever, McDonald's, I don't know. Right? You come home and now you got a bill in the mail. Right? So it's a constant dollar amount that's going to be needed no matter what you do. And as time wears on, repairs are going to be needed. Maintenance is going to be needed. So therefore, there's more money dropping out of your pockets. We're trying to keep our duffel bag of cash. We're not trying to get rid of it based on liabilities, right? You guys have to understand this. So you got to get on the train. The only train that happens right now is the wealth train. After this next, if they increase the interest rate, fine. If they do nothing, that's always stock market positive. But eventually they're going to reduce the interest rate. And that will turn into the biggest explosion of asset value in, I think, anyone's lifetime. And those who have no assets are going to get blown away financially. You will be devastated. You will be in the lower class because those with assets are going to move up exponentially. So if I have 500,000 and you have 10,000, and another person has 1 million worth of assets, and each of our assets just did 10 times, the 500,000 is 5 million. The 1 million is 10 million, but the 10,000 is only 100,000. Now it costs $1.3 million to buy a home. Your 100,000 is damn near worthless. So the 5 million asset value, the 10 million asset value, they can absorb. They can say, you know what? I'll sell whatever I need to sell, or I'll buy some more assets to pay for this other liability. But you're now at the bottom, and to catch those guys is going to be hard. That's where we're at right now. Trying to catch the guys with all the money is going to be hard because they have all the assets that they can use the money to borrow against. It's free money to them. We want you in that position, ladies and gentlemen. How do you get there? It's up to you. You have options. So some people don't like me talking about it, but again, I'm involved right now with project that I thought was funded like 3 weeks ago. Again, a guy said, it might have been 4 weeks, but anyhow, he said, attorney looking over it. He says the attorney green lights it. After 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, maybe 3 weeks go by, green light, we're sent over the contract. It was a Friday. Send over the contract this weekend. I'm going to wire the funds. It was supposed to be last Monday. No contract, no wire funds. We've done business together before. So this is kind of weird. And the guy has been MIA since Monday, which is really weird because there's no reason for him to be MIA. That's the weird part. So hopefully he's okay. But like I say, tomorrow, somebody's going to do a wellness check on him tomorrow. Make sure he's still alive. Not for the money part. I don't really care if he wants to do it or not, but he would have said if he didn't want to do it. But I'm thinking the worst. So we'll have somebody go by and make sure he's okay. You know, because we're still friends. It don't really matter. And so we had to move to number 2, number 3, and get some feedback. And just so everybody knows, number 2 says, I gotta talk, and we got to do a 3-way, and I got to have another person come in. So we'll see how this all plays out this week. But hey, things go according to plan. We'll still make it work. We still have SSN Lifestyle. Remember, tickets officially will go on sale on Wednesday evening now, because I won't know until tomorrow or Wednesday once we sew up the locations and everything, because we have several moving parts for the September 9th through the 19th now. So the 9th through the 12th, as you guys know, the musical event. The 13th, 14th, 15th, it's the real estate. But SSN Lifestyle is doing the production promotion. So you know what this means. That means there will be tons of real estate projects, hopefully ours. Throughout the event, people have papers looking through stuff. It'll be cool. Plus, we have to sell our artist stuff too. But all that has to go down. And then on the 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, some more fun musically. So you can stay for the whole time. Imagine 11 days. I know it's scary, right? How many people would like to stay 11 days in the DR? And I don't know about you guys, but it's going to be a pretty good rate. In fact, let me see who I have here right now. I want to know, in the month of May, what are you guys thinking? That unit, your own hotel or 1-bedroom unit by the ocean. In fact, you could be sitting on your balcony and you can see the water. So I guess you would call it partial ocean view. What do you think that should cost a night? I just want to hear anybody's ideas. I'm curious, because in this way I'll have an idea if it's a good rate. So if you stayed 6 nights, 7 days, what do you think it would cost? Oh, how close are you to the ocean? Less than 100 yards away. Well, actually, it's probably less than that, but my estimates are kind of off. Maybe 50 to 75 yards away, maybe. 100 yards away, possibly. I don't think it's that far. But we'll see. Here we go. Mr. Cool, this is what he's saying. See, this is where I get to. I started that process April 2021. Look, 3 years. 5 years. Wow. Notice this trend. All are seeming to be 5 years. I mean, we can't deny, I just can't deny the mathematics. I can't deny statistics. I mean, there's no builder that's doing things in a short time frame. I just don't see it. I just don't. So from what I saw at the Wave, I mean, they did that herky-jerky video, but if it's still gray matter, if it's still gray, I just don't see how they're done in a year. I just don't see it. So sadly, I kind of have to agree with you. But then you have to start asking the $1 million question. Will they give you back 100% of your money? That's the $1 million question. It's time to explore, right? To find out your options. Because it's kind of hard to keep paying for something when it keeps getting extended and extended. And this thing of it being normal is not cool. Because it seems like this is just a thing. And nobody would know this until now. So there'd be no way to know in 2019, 2020, projects are not going to be built till 2024, 2025, because it was relatively new. If I'm entering the market now I'm a little more like, wait a minute. Everybody's taking 4 or 5 years. So any big projects are definitely going to seemingly take Larimar, Cruise on Land, Atlanta that hasn't gotten there yet. But we know what our eyes see, and I just don't see how Atlanta does. Clearly, Atlanta is not going to be done in a year. Their first phase, clearly, and so they're going to be late too. So I don't get it. I really, really don't get it. So now we know if they say 2.5 years, I don't really care about 2.5 years no more. 30 months, I don't care. Now, Macau Hills broke ground. So they're getting their foundation together. I don't know what that means, but I think they were 2026, 2027. The fact that they've broken ground is interesting. Way ahead of everybody else's schedule. So this is something to watch. So these may be people that are saying, hey, we see an opportunity here, like I do. So it'll be very, very interesting. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's call it a night. All right. If there's anything else you want to talk about, please do so now in the chat. And once again, make sure you go to Beachfront Java, ladies and gentlemen, beachfrontjava.com. Use our promo code SSN Lifestyle, all caps. Why? Because after your first order, you will get discounts on additional orders. Free shipping in the United States. There's coffee, premium blend beans, and tea. Fresh Ziploc bags. And the coffee comes whole bean. You have a Keurig. Got that. Whole bean, fine ground, drip ground. Half pound, 1 pound, 2 pounds, 5 pound bags. And in between. Different flavors. Our own professor, Auntie Val and family. That's their business. So we have to show some love, right? So please go show some love for our own professor, Auntie Val at beachfrontjava.com. Use the promo code, all caps, SSN Lifestyle. All right. It's that simple. Okay. Now, we're going to wrap this up. My voice is almost gone. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest update. And I know it's hard out here, but you guys know what the program is now. You should be running towards assets. I know what could happen in the stock market. It could go down. It should. It has reached all-time record highs. The housing market never really dropped either. So business, whether markets are good or bad, you can do business. So you always have an option. But I would advise buy a business that's making profit versus trying to start one, even though starting a business is not bad either. But it just makes it better if you are able to invest into something that you know you're going to get a return from the get-go. Just saying. All right, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully I'll see you on Wednesday night. Hopefully I'll have great news for you. And I love you guys very much. I thank you so much for your support on the way out. Make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you share the videos with other people to let them know there is options out here. You don't have to keep doing the 401k. You can have a solo 401k. Just go see Schwab for starters, but Schwab, you can go there because they merged, I guess, with TD Ameritrade. TD Ameritrade had the solo 401k. If you have a business, your business should have a 401k. You work for your business, so that means your business can match the employees' contribution of a certain percentage. So that means you can grow it faster. Just little ordinary stuff that you can do to get your assets built faster. You can do it, ladies and gentlemen. It's not that hard. You can always send me an email at support@stopstrugglingnow.com. It's the No Guru Zone. We don't have consultations. All right, just ask me. It'll be that simple. All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that will work for tonight. And I'll see you on Wednesday at 8:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, I'm sorry I came late tonight, but I had some things to do. All right. And with all that said, make sure you stay safe out here. Don't get in any trouble, because remember, getting in trouble is another way to siphon your wealth away, because you have court fees. You could have jail fees. You could even have bail fees. Another litany of ways to siphon your wealth. All right. So keep all that in mind. And with all that said, keep your head up, keep moving, and I'm out.